Welcome. For those of you that are new to the school, every year we have a theme. And for those of you that are returning, this year's theme is you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. So I just wanted to, that's the theme for these.
Okay, I am Melissa Frank, and this is Lisa Hancock. We will be your children's discipleship teachers. We will have them on Fridays, but they will have homework on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're a little different. We do not actually have a textbook, a workbook. We just have the ESV Bible. So your student needs to diligently look at their topics, their assignments, because there will be printouts that you have for Tuesday. There will be printouts that you have for Thursday that will be due on Friday. Our emails, pretty self-explanatory. First initial, Melissa M. Last name Frank at legacypca.org. This will be on our syllabus, which is in Blackbaud. But some of you have been seeing UMS on there. Don't email me then. I will not get it. I want you to email me here, as well as Ms. Hancock. Okay? And like our supplies, again, ESV Bible, please. And in the spring, we do, which I love, is the spiritual disciplines. And they will learn to journal. And there's 10 of them. And it's amazing. I love it. Which they will do later in high school. But so we will provide that for them. So they just need to come with their Bible. Every Friday, they need their Bible.
And there will be random Bible tricks as well. So make sure they're in their backpack. It's easy, 300. They have their Bible. So just to let you all know, just make sure it comes with them on Fridays.
Something slightly different than some of you, if this is your first child in middle school legacy, we do not do memory verses at home. You don't get to just sign it. They have it in class. It's a written memory verse. So you need to be working with that. There's about 2 each month. They're pretty easy, but it will be written in class as a minor grade. So no major grades, just minor grades. So there's that. So that's on that. I'm Mrs. Frank. I will be your kids' computer 500 teacher. I will have some of your students at the beginning of the school year, and then some of them I will see at the end of the school year. We have fun. I love this course. Ms. Hatch has helped me with this. The kids love it. I didn't know how they were going to take it, but they love it. Again, email hasn't changed. Same email. Most of you, I'm assuming, have already purchased your computers. Yes, because they need it for tomorrow. Boot camp. At the beginning of this course, really just like the first semester of each one, so quarter 1, quarter 3, basics. How to send an email. How to attach something to an email. What a proper email looks like. Word document. We like to do a lot in there, and MLA, which is beautiful because they use MLA format with me. You'll see me again in English, and then all the way up through their career there. So I love it. And then we get to super fun stuff. We do one PowerPoint that's all about them, and man, they kill it every time. It's so amazing. As well as Lego robotics. So on there you'll see, eventually please get that downloaded. It is like a hot mess when everybody's in school and they're trying to download something on our server. It's like crickets. So do it at home, okay? But that will be in your assignment, you'll see that. Tomorrow, students have to bring their computer, okay, at 10:30. And then we'll do the rest of the, I guess, orientation for the students. So there's that. I will pass it to everyone.
I want to interject really quickly for computer boot camp. A lot of times parents put a pin, and last year we had kids who showed up and did not know the pin to get into their computer. So we are going to help them bookmark things. It's going to make your life and their life so much easier. So please make sure they know whatever pin, if you set one, so they can actually get into the computer. Otherwise, you're gonna get a phone call from us like, help.
All right.
All right. Hi everybody, my name is Katie Hicks. I will be your student's art teacher, and I'm very, very excited. It's a topic that is one of my favorites growing up, and I know for your fifth grader, maybe you have a fifth grader that's super, super techie and this is not their thing, so they're a little bit nervous, or maybe you have a student that's just ready to jump into it. Either way, we have something for your student. So, a couple things about me. If you want to reach out or your student wants to reach out, I have my email over here. This will also be in Blackbaud along with the syllabus and our lesson plans. But let me see really quick. So really quick, there are a couple of objections that we have. One of the main projects that we'll have is the Living Wax Museum, which is like a portrait that your student will do, and we will provide your student with everything they need to be able to feel confident in creating their portrait, regardless if art is within their natural gifting or not in their natural gifting. For grading for art, a lot of the evaluations are very easy. I'm just looking to see that your student put in the effort, right, was trying to bring glory to God if this is their gifting or even if it's not their gifting. God is the master artist and designer and creator, right? We get to see his artwork all over creation. So I'm really excited that your students in my class will be given an opportunity to learn how to reflect that, right? And to see and admire the patterns that God has in nature for us to see and enjoy. So in our class, my main expectations for students is that we use our time well, and I know fifth grade can be hard. There's a lot of exciting things that are happening in our lives in fifth grade, but we will use our classroom time well. We will do our best to grow in being respectful. I have some instructions, and all of our projects, they will be very, very clear. We'll have lesson plans for your students to look at if they have any questions, and I have me as well. So any questions you have, feel free to contact me. So the other thing is I know that art is an elective, and I know that we have our core subjects like math and English that get really, really heavy starting in fifth grade. So I am very flexible with that. If your student is, if there's an assignment that's taking a little longer, just reach out to me. I really want your student to have a wonderful year in all of their classes. So I do understand that sometimes art has to take sometimes the last thing we do on our home days, and that's perfectly fine. All right. So along with all this, it's just best of your student's ability. It's okay if your student's not an artist naturally. It's okay if, sometimes a stick figure is something that they're really excited about, right? I'll be excited about it with them. I know that, on the other side of that, we have students that are perfectionists. I am one of those students that when I was taking art, nothing was ever done, nothing was ever ready to turn in. There was always something I had to nitpick. So a lot of the times, my mom always told me growing up, done is better than perfect. And sometimes for art, done is better than perfect, right? So we'll do our best, right? As students taking multiple subjects, as parents guiding our students through multiple subjects, but it'll be a fun year. It'll be a fun year. All right? Materials will be provided to your students, the majority of them. I'm looking at a couple different fun projects for your student for as we go through the semester, and there's two that I'm looking at. So everything should be provided. There is one project that I am thinking about having students do, and you would just need cardboard. So, and not a lot of cardboard, just a little cardboard for like a 3D project, but everything else will be provided. We've got markers, we've got paint, we have paintbrushes, so your student will be very well taken care of. All right, so just ending this with whether your student's really excited about art or maybe a little bit overwhelmed with art, God is the master creator, and if we turn our hearts to reflecting him, right, and growing in our likeness as image bearers to him, it'll be a successful class for your student and for everybody involved, for you guys too. So it was really, really nice meeting you. Ever any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am so excited to help your student with art, and I hope to make it a class that they love as much as I do. So nice meeting you guys.
I am Michelle Wojtek. I teach U.S. history. We will be starting with the first inhabitants of the Americas, or the United States, coming over. and we will be wrapping up with the civil rights movement. So we cover a lot. We don't go super deep, but we want them to be aware so that when they get to 8th grade, they get ready to dive deeper. My one takeaway from my class is Google Classroom. I utilize Google Classroom. I had kids in the 4th quarter of the year last year that still had not joined the Google Classroom. You don't, like, it's not a detriment to your grade, but I put so many resources out there, it's quite helpful, especially because this year the major thing in history is learning all the states and their capitals and being able to identify where those are located on a map. And I put tons of stuff up there. So this is my Google Classroom, and if you go to classwork, so you'll see when we get to 50 states and capitals unit, there's a lot of resources I put there, and it's just to help your kids, and they can print off and practice and throw away and print off another one and and then somebody found videos last year that were super helpful for helping kids learn mnemonic devices for where the states go. And like my kids that were failing, when that student brought that resource to my attention, all of a sudden my kids who were failing my quizzes were like making 90s on my quizzes because they were watching that video and remembering. So please have them join my Google Classroom.
I'm Lisa Hancock. I teach Science 500. Super excited because I've had some of your kids before in Science 200. So it's kind of like we get to circle back and expand on some of the stuff that they've already learned. Again, email lhancock@legacypca.org. Topics covered is materials and rocks, fossils and dinosaurs. We're starting off with space, which is one of my favorite units, and the questions that come out of space are amazing. And I'm glad I'm in discipleship because we can kind of carry a little bit of that over and talk about it. But the questions that they ask, and you can just see the lights go off. Well, wow, God did this, and all of these different things that we get to talk about. Goals for science. For me, I am all about hands-on. I want to do the experiments with them. I want them to get their hands dirty. I'm not like, last year we brought in snakes and sharks and like all sorts of different things. I'm not afraid to get dirty. They're not afraid to get dirty. Like, I want them to learn it. I want them to enjoy it. So you will see that a lot of in class time we will do experiments, and on the home days you will probably see reading with the activity manual pages, because I want to devote my time in there to make sure they understand, hey, what is a mixture? What is a solution? So when they get home and are actually doing their homework, you guys should be good. They'd be like, hey mom, this is what this is. We did this in class, and we did this experiment. And so I just want them to be able to come home and be excited about it. And maybe they can do the experiment at home, like what they saw in class. So, go ahead. Grading, everything is 50-50. What homework, that comes in 50-50. Test projects, they will have a project a quarter, which I like as a parent, just because my son, sometimes. So it just helps kind of bring up that grade if they're not a great test taker. So I love that about science too. Go ahead. And test correction policy, if they make below an 80, they can retake a test. So there's that. Late work, if it is 1 day late, it is minus 15 points. If it's 2 days late, it goes in as a 0. I know that's different from elementary, so just please make sure, and I know they'll have their accordion folder, which Ms. Frank will go over here in a little bit, but it is a transition for them turning things in. So just make sure you're like, hey, Lindy, like, here it is. Make sure you turn it in each class, because we do take off the 15 points if it's late. Supplies, another big thing, especially for me in science, please make sure they have their supply pack. Sometimes we use colored pencils, glues, scissors, whatever we may need. If they don't have them, it makes class time really hard, because I don't have a lot in class. And so this year, if they don't have their supplies, I'm going to take 10 points off the assignment. So please make sure they have everything that is listed on my syllabus. Just make sure it's always with them. And that's pretty much it for me. So, yeah.
Back again. Melissa Frank. Real quick, I'm just gonna throw out, I've got 2 kiddos here. So I'm a right side of you. I've got an 8th grader and a 6th grader. So I'm in the trenches with you. Just FYI, just as an English teacher, because you're gonna love me. So we kind of have about 4 to 5 parts in English, and we cram it. So I want to kind of go over those. The one thing that I have found it to be the easiest, as much as your kid's going to be like, gosh, Mrs. Frank is just a slave driver because I've got to take all my supplies. They need all their supplies for me every day, even if we don't even use it. Just have them in their backpacks. What my kids did, you can do whatever you want. What my kids did was they had 2 distinct backpacks, an AM, so everything up to lunch, and a PM, everything after that. And they literally swapped them at lunch in their lockers. The only thing that they've got to grab is that computer, because you may use that computer in every single class, and you do not want to get stuck in science needing a computer and you don't have it. So my thing is really have all your supplies. Even if you're like, you're never going to use this, we will use it. So please have it there. So our first thing is you've all been doing BJU for grammar. We switched to Fix It Grammar. It is my jam. I love this. Students who have never really liked grammar, parts of speech, they're like, this is like, why have we not done this our entire lives? Like, this makes sense. I'm like, yes, it does. You will see up here my 3 parts to this. You have your Fix It Grammar workbook, which majority of it we do in class. Really at home, first semester, you're just rewriting at the bottom. So you're creating a sentence that needed proofreading, and you are correcting it in cursive. Yes, in cursive. You will see cursive again in 7th grade. So if they don't know cursive, just shoot me an email. I am very understanding. We can build up to that. I understand that. Your Fix It Grammar cards. You bought those and they come in like a rectangle. They're like, I don't even know, like maybe 12 of them, and they're loose. I will provide the O-ring. You will need to punch the holes. I cannot punch, your kids are not going to punch the holes in the class. You need to do this. I would prefer it done before school starts. But punch those holes, because they can use those grammar cards on every quiz and every test. And they are extremely helpful, especially with prepositions. They don't have to memorize them anymore. They can just use their sources. So have those, and they can use them all the way through their career here at middle school. 6th, 7th, 8th, tests and quizzes. So have those. I actually have to buy like 2, one at home, one I'm not, because I don't necessarily always trust my son. So, then to reinforce, because I just told you Fix It Grammar is done mostly in class. I can't always know if a student doesn't know the concept. So, real world practice, RWP. This is homework. They get it on Monday, it's due on Friday. They've got all week they can do it. Most go home on Tuesday and crank it out and they're done. This is going to correlate with the concept. So our first concept is going to be nouns. So it's going to be all about nouns. And it helps me understand, please do not sit there and do their homework. Let it not be a good grade. Because then you nor I will know if they don't understand that concept. And they get tested on that. So let's build them up to learn those concepts without saying, oh, no, that's wrong. Well, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay not to have a great grade, because you will be more prepared for the exams. Okay, so that's our grammar. The next part, writing. 4th grade does IEW. Same concept. So I will provide on day 1. You have the blue folder. This is a source. 4th grade's back of the IEW book has like all this extra resources, like when it comes to ly adverbs or banned words, say, said. You had that directly in the back of your book. We don't have that. So that's where this IEW blue folder comes in. It's a resource. We will tab it every once in a while as we're using it, because I want them to go find, instead of 15 kids going, Mrs. Frank, what's another ly adverb? check that book, there's like 20, like go to it. And then I will have them because it's a precursor to 6th grade. 6th grade puts all of their papers that they've written, their IEW papers, in the green folder. It's just what you'll do again, so I implement that, so then by the time they get to 6th grade, they're like, we already know what we're doing. So that's our writing. Reading. Some are huge. Okay, so I've had some of y'all in 2nd grade also. I know we've got big readers. I don't care if you finish the novel this summer. I just wanted at least 1 through 8 done, chapters 1 through 8. They will have at least 2 chapters. I try to break that up because I know you're reading in science, you're reading in history, you've got math, so I really don't want to, language arts is a lot, it always is a lot. Sorry, I do love it though. But they're going to be about 2 chapters a week. That's what I'm trying to aim at. They will get these novel questions on Monday. They're not due till Friday. Okay, so most of my stuff is due on Friday. You have an entire week. Break it up. Teach your kid. So if you've got lots of stuff like sports stuff on Tuesday, okay, maybe do a little bit on Monday night. Finish it up on Thursday. That's up to you guys how you do that. We have a reading journal. I go super heavy into digesting parts of a novel, especially with Where the Red Fern Grows. That is going to be a precursor. We're going to talk about character traits. We're going to talk about figurative language, things like that, that will eventually be used in our major project, quarter 3, quarter 4. So I go deep into it. We talk about themes, genres, some things, concepts that we just haven't. Protagonist, antagonist, and there's always that one kid in the class that's like, I'll be the antagonist. So we talk about those concepts, but so they'll need to have that. I will provide the sticker, you just provide the composition notebook for me. All right? Dun, dun, dun. Living Wax Museum project. In the first semesters, quarter 1, quarter 2, Fix-It Grammar, IEW, they're learning these concepts. This is where we put those into practice, all right? So there won't be any more really IEW papers. This is it, and this becomes our project. So in quarter 3, halfway through it, we'll start reading whoever their character is. You need to choose your character week 3. It will be on my bulletin board under announcements. This will all be on the topics. I even gave you pictures, so you will be plenty and ready to click that button. I will be providing you the list. Boys have to choose boys, girls have to choose girls. You only choose one, but you need to have backups upon backups upon backups, okay? When you choose that character, I usually used to put it at 8 in the morning. I'm not doing that anymore. I think that's a lot to ask of you parents. It's a lot to ask of me. So it's gonna be 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, you put the alarm on your phone, and you get by that computer, and you go to my bulletin board. And you click that link, and you knock it out. It's in alphabetical order. So it's fun, but that's gonna be your person because some of you will already be in art. You will be doing the portfolio or your portrait right away, and then you don't touch it for a while, and then I will give it back to you later, and then the other half of the class will get it later. So that's why we do that. You will have a Living Wax Museum journal, so you have 2 composition notebooks. This will be filled only with Living Wax Museum stuff that we will do in class, and all of our papers will go in the green folder. So that's what that is. That's it. All right.
All right, so the accordion folder was mentioned. So it is very helpful. Melissa on her Blackboard has a beautiful picture of how you can organize it. For my kids, it was always things that need to be turned in the very front. And in math, you'll use math binders, but my son would have never turned in his work if it weren't in the to turn in of his accordion. So that's also something, if you do the 2 backpack system, they'll need to transfer their accordion over. It's a great way to, everything that needs to be turned in the next school day is in that front, and then if you want to do subjects in order, of when they have them, and then as they get things returned, they can put it in there. Math's a little different because they use a binder, but like I said, my son, just because we would not be passing math because he wouldn't turn anything in if it weren't in that. So I just wanted to mention briefly the accordion folder. Melissa Frank in English has a beautiful thing on her Blackbaud, picture of how you could potentially organize it. So I just wanted to highlight that. We know that you have more than one child, most of you, and coming to these meetings can be a lot like drinking from a fire hose. So we tried to go light on the information we provided. At the end of today, we will be sending a 5th grade email out. It will most likely come from me. We've all contributed to it, things we felt like were really important things that you will want to know as a parent. We could have missed something, so if you have questions, and all of our emails are on that email, so you can just click. And so if you have any questions, please always feel free to ask. We are here to help you. For those of you new to the school, the model takes a little bit getting used to, and we are here to help you and guide you, and we want your kids to be successful. So that will be coming out later this afternoon. You might want to star it. We try to think of things that you may want to refer back through the year, and you only have one place to go. I have 4 children. Last year I received 24 emails with 24 videos. So it was incredibly overwhelming, plus the stuff I was sending out. So we just tried to streamline it, and there will be one 5th grade email, and if you have any questions, it's all there for you to ask whoever you need to